Hi there, my name is Jen. Welcome to Pilates in a Flash. This is your 30-minute Pilates workout. Today you're going to need a pillow and some cans for this workout, okay? So 2 cans, or you can use hand weights, 1 pound, 2 pound, or 3 pound weights. Please make sure your space is cleared and ready for you to work out so that it's safe. And always take the video at your own pace. So if you need to pause or if you need to stop and take a break, please do so, okay? All right, we are going to get started down on our back, but we are going to end with some big leg movements standing up at the end of class, okay? So we're going to start lying down on our back. We're actually going to start with our feet first. Okay, move the pillow and the hands out of the way. Take a nice big deep breath in, and you're just going to start by tapping the balls of the feet on the mat. So we're just going to tap, 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 tap. We're moving from the ankle joint. Taking a big deep breath in, feeling our ribs expand, okay? Trying to feel for just the ankles moving, and we're not moving through our whole body, which can happen, okay? So just the ankles, tops of feet pulling towards the shins, and then you should start to feel some work in the shins and in the tops of feet. So pulling straight up towards the shins. Ooh, there we go, okay? Starts to get a little bit warm. That's good. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. A little quicker. 3, 2, 1. Ha! Okay, I'm going to let my legs go. I'm going to shake out my legs a little bit, moving my feet a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and do my heels. So I'm going to lift my heels up towards the ceiling, coming onto the balls of feet and the toes. So I'm lifting them as high as I can onto tippy toes. Feeling for calves engaged. So calf engagement back behind my shins. Okay, you might feel some hamstring. That would be great. Here you can take another big deep breath in. Think about filling out that rib cage. Spine is in a neutral position. As I lift and lower my heels, there's a little curve in my low back, and my pelvis is somewhat level, right? Functional level for me. So it's not perfect, but maybe one day it will be flush. Hips and pubic bone will be somewhat flush. Okay, my calves are starting to scream at me. So we're going to lift and lower for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Okay, so feet are awake. We've got our feet, we've got our calves, we've got shins. I'm going to push into those feet, and I'm going to lift my pelvis up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to articulate my spine down. So pushing into feet, lifting my pelvis like a plate, and then lowering on down. Taking my time, pulling my belly button in. Lift the pelvis up. Feel for hamstrings, glutes squeeze together. And then lower from the top of the spine, the middle of the spine, the lower back, and then pelvis on the mat. One more time. Lift on up, and then lower slowly down towards the mat. Excellent. Okay, so feeling for that movement in the spine. I am going to take my pillow, I'm going to prop it in between my upper inner thighs, and now I'm going to continue with my bridge. So I'm going to push into my feet, lift my pelvis up, squeeze the pillow at the top, and then lower on down. I'm going to move my feet a little bit closer together. So push into feet, lift my pelvis up, squeeze the upper inner thighs a little bit, and then lower on down, okay? So feet first for hamstrings, pelvis lifts up, bum cheeks squeeze together, inner thighs at the top. Okay, we're going to keep going here for a couple more. Pulling the low belly down and the belly button towards the spine. You should feel maybe more glutes working to keep that pelvis in a nice neutral position as you lift it up, right? So we're not tilting the pelvis. We're thinking we're going to keep that pelvis as level as possible, really working the hamstrings and glutes. And then the upper inner thighs, give that pillow a gentle little squeeze at the top. Good. We're going to hold the pelvis up here, okay? We're going to hold the pelvis up, and I just want you to think about dropping the right hip down a little bit and then lifting it back up. So we're doing a small rotation of the hips, hip rotation or hip circle. Really, it's not a circle, it's just kind of a down and an up. But what I want you to think about is when you do it, your thigh bones and your knees don't move too much. So I'm not rocking around. It's a very small motion as I drop one hip and lift it up, drop the other hip and lift it up. Okay, I'm thinking about pulling my low belly down, my belly button towards my spine for 4, for 3, inner thighs are on, 2, keep pushing into the feet, 1, halfway down and up, halfway down and up. Halfway down and up. So we do a little pulse here. We're coming halfway down, feet are on, my knees are going to shoot towards the wall in front of me. So don't let them drift back towards your chin. You're going to go for 5, for 4, squeeze the pillow, 3, 2, 1, hold it up. Now all we're going to do is just squeeze the pillow gently and release. Squeeze the pillow gently and release. Okay, bum cheeks hold towards each other as the inner thighs squeeze towards the pillow. Feet are strong into the mat. I almost forgot them. We're going to go for 4. Good. For 3, for 2, for 1. Lower on down. Excellent. Okay, grabbing your weights. Anchoring the tailbone towards the mat. So thinking about that pelvis in a nice neutral position. Getting the ribs down. Okay, we're going to bring our legs into a tabletop position. And I'm going to gently squeeze the pillow. Arms come up, sink the arm bones down towards the mat. And all I'm going to do here is just lift the arm bones towards the ceiling and sink them down towards the mat. So we're moving the shoulder blades to start, but we're engaging our core to hold our legs in that tabletop position. For 3, squeeze the pillow very gently, okay? For 2, pull the low belly down, but don't smush out the low back. For 1, excellent, okay? Sink the arm bones down. We're going to bend the elbows. We're going to open the arms, and then we're going to close them. We're going to open, and we're going to close. And as we close, we exhale, and we think about pulling our abdominals down towards the mat a little bit extra, okay? We're going to anchor down through that tailbone, squeeze the pillow ever so slightly. We're going to go for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. One more move here. Arms come down towards our hips, and then arms come up towards our ears. Okay, pulling the ribs down towards the mat, squeezing the pillow, belly button on, pulling down towards the mat. So you should feel abdominals shaking to keep your spine in that lovely neutral position and that pelvis nice and stable, right? That's what we're working on here. We're working from core, from basically our breastbone to our pubic bone, shoulders down. Okay, so underneath the armpit area as well to keep those shoulders down. We're going to go for 2 more. Arms come up, low belly pulls down, ribs stay down. You only lift those weights as high as you can keep the shoulders away from ears and the ribs on the mat. Good. Okay, arms come down, tiny little break. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to roll over onto my left side. I don't need the weights to come with me or the pillow. The right leg is long. Okay, head is on the bottom arm. And you want to think a nice, long, straight spine. Hips are stacked, shoulders away from the ears. I'm going to start by lifting and lowering my top leg, okay? And I'm feeling for my oblique lifted off the mat a little bit, okay? And I'm also feeling for side, bum, and hip action to lift my leg up. So my hips don't get to rock as my thigh bone lifts. So this guy doesn't get to smush, right? So there's no smushing going on. Everything stays nice and long and stacked. The only thing moving is the thigh bone. And for me, I need to actually send my right leg back a little bit so that I feel more side bum. Okay, so more hip action. I was feeling a little quad and a little hip flexor, so I need to make sure that everything is kind of lined up. Good. From here, we're going to go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, pull the low belly in, make sure you're still lifted off the mat a little, hold the leg up. Okay, you're going to flex the foot for me. What we're going to do is we're going to rotate the thigh bone. So we're thinking top thigh bone, we're going to rotate the thigh bone down towards the floor and up towards the ceiling. And it's actually quite small. Hips don't move and we don't lose height of the leg. So the leg stays lifted as our thigh bone rotates. Good. We're going to go for 4. One direction might be easier than the other. 3. Internal might be harder than external. 2. Don't move the pelvis to move the thigh bone. 1 more. Yeah. Okay. Pause. Lower the leg down. Give that bum a little tap. Here we go. I'm going to lift the leg up and I'm going to circle the leg. And I'm going to keep my leg circles fairly small so that I keep it controlled. Pelvis really holds still. As I lift up, the hip doesn't get to crunch into the waistline. As my leg comes back, my pelvis doesn't get to move. My low back doesn't change shape. same as my leg coming forward. You're gonna go the opposite direction now. So now we're gonna swing back, lift, up and around. You're gonna do 3 more. You can push into the bottom leg for support, but try to find support from the abdominals and obliques, holding that pelvis steady and that upper body nice and still. I'm gonna do 1 more, swing forward, okay? Hips don't move, kick back, hamstring, glute, lift up, glute med, glute mid, good, and then back to center. Excellent, okay? Letting go here, you're gonna come up onto that forearm, double up the mat. I'm going to take that nice strong top leg that we already did. I'm going to push into the bottom leg. So doing a side bridge is like doing the bridge on our back. We already did it. You're thinking little curve in the back. Soften the breastbone so it's not forward. Shoulders away from the ears, and your bottom leg is your best form of support for engaging through the side body. So push into the bottom leg, pull the belly button in, come on up, pause at the top, and then come on down. Okay, push into the bottom leg, push into the side foot of that top leg. Squeeze the bum cheeks together, but not under. So you don't want to shoot your hips forward, right? There's no shooting forward. We're just lifting up and then lowering on down. We're trying to keep our ribs and our hips in alignment. Okay, when they're in alignment, our obliques work. If they're out of alignment, they're not going to work. And you're going to pull your QL, which is lower side back. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 more lift and hold. Lift and hold. We're going to rotate. So I'm going to take that top arm, I'm going to feed it underneath, and then I'm going to come back to center. So I'm moving my rib cage, my bottom leg continues to push into the mat. My hips do not follow too much, okay? My hips stay pretty much still. Top leg is really strong, bottom leg is strong. We rotate the rib cage 1 more time. Excellent. Come on down. I'm going to sit up on my knees. Okay? My bum is going to be on my heels. Whoopsies. And I'm just going to cross my arms across my chest and do a small rotation while I'm here. Breathing in and out. 1 more time each side. Really gentle. Okay. Excellent. Coming onto my hands and knees before I do my glutes on the other side. Okay, we're coming into cat-cow. So we're going to round, tuck the tailbone, pull up between the shoulder blades. Eyes come up, you extend. Tailbone goes back behind you. Crown of head reaches forward. 1 more time, round, and then extend. Okay, coming into plank, coming onto our forearms. Breastbone is lifted up between our shoulder blades, so our shoulder blades are hugging around our rib cage. Legs go back. Lower the pelvis down, but don't tuck it under, and don't lower the ribs with the pelvis. Ribs stay lifted as the bum kind of moves downward. Pull the belly button in. Untuck the tailbone. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop to your knees. Okay, push back. You don't need your props with you, but you are going to come down onto your right side. Right arm is underneath the head. Left leg is going to start by lifting and lowering. Shoulders away from the ears. Hips stay nice and stacked. And try to keep your eyes up and looking forward. So that the chin isn't hanging down on your chest, right? We don't need it down there. We need it in a nice, comfortable position. There we go. I'm even propping my head up. I don't need to prop my head up. I can lower it on down. Okay, as we lift and lower, think about feeling. Side bum and hip. Not really. So I need to actually shift my hips forward and then bring my thigh bone back a little bit. This is my left leg, so naturally I have to rotate my left leg kind of towards the floor just a little. And as soon as I do that, there it is. Side bum and hip working a little bit harder. Okay, we're going to go for 5. We're going to go for 4. Don't let the top hip move. 3. There we go. 2. Good. 1 more. Lift and hold. Good. Flex the foot. Here we go. Rotate the thigh bone inward, which feels so hard, then outward. Oh, I can do outward, so I need inward a little bit more than I need to open up, okay? Low belly in, hips don't get to move, thighs on, so quad is on to straighten the leg. Rotate the direction that kind of feels the hardest for you to do, and try to do that rotation a little bit slower and a little bit further. Okay, we're gonna go for 3. Oh, I'm shaking. There we go. We're gonna go for 2. Eyes up. There's that head again. 1. Good. Okay, from there, point the toes, circle the thigh bone, low belly in, especially as the leg swings kind of back and around. Pelvis doesn't get to move, so you don't get to break in the waist, either back or forward. As the leg bone swings forward, I don't get to hinge. There's no hinging going on, right? There's no movement in my spine or my pelvis as my thigh bone moves. Good. We're going to do one more. Excellent. Opposite direction. We're going to kick back, hamstring, squeeze it, bum. Okay. Big glute max to help you lift that leg back in space past the hip. Okay, but the hips don't get to move. Two more. Breathe in. One more. Breathe in. Swing back, up and around. Good. Lower the leg down. Okay, let's do bridge on this side. Side bridge. Okay, top leg is nice and long. Bottom leg is your best base of support, right? So you push straight down to that bottom leg, pull the belly button in, lift on up, and lower on down. Push into the bottom leg, lift on up, shoulders away from the ears, breastbones not forward, and lower on down. Lift on up, bum cheeks towards each other. Whew. One more time and we hold. So push in and we hold here, shoulders away from the ears. Okay, I'm going to feed that top arm. My rib cage rotates, but my hips don't really move with it, and then I come back to center. Okay, rotate, feed the top arm underneath, pull the belly button in. Think rib cage moves, bum cheeks squeeze together, hips don't move. One more time. Pull the low belly in, shoulders away from the ears. Good. Lower it on down. Excellent. Coming onto our hands here. Okay. I'm just going to pull up my lovely little pants and then move my shirt down. So hands and knees, I'm going to push back into high plank. Squeeze my bum cheeks towards each other, shoulders away from the ears, and pause. I'm going to hold here for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, push back. We're going to do it again, okay? We're going to think about, if you can, moving our arms. So one arm at a time, okay? It's going to reach and float from hip to ear. We're going to try it. Okay, shoulders away from the ears, breastbone up, don't tuck the tailbone, keep a little curve in the low back. Come up into high plank. You're going to push into your feet, and I'm going to take my feet a little bit wider, and I'm going to push into my right arm first, okay? Left arm lifts up, and then lower on down. Push into the left hand and your feet, strong legs, squeeze the bum together, pull the belly button up, okay? Right arm floats up. Good. One more time, each side. Right hand pushes into the mat. Fire up those legs, squeeze the bum, okay, lift. And let's do the opposite. Push into left hand, shoulders away from the ears, ribs are up. Lift that right hand, good. Lower on down, push back. Excellent. I'm gonna go back into down dog just for a second. Lifting and lowering my heels. I'm gonna walk my feet in towards my hands. And I'm going to slowly curl up into standing. So I'm going to see you in standing. Okay, the head is the last thing to come up, okay? We're going to do a nice lunge series and finish off our legs. So you're going to take your right leg forward for me and your left leg back, okay? Keeping the hips and the people bone facing forward, making sure both waistlines are long. We're not hitching one hip. What you're going to do is pushing into the right foot forward first, you're going to shift your weight forward and you're going to push down through your heel and your big toe. So right there and then, that's your anchor point. We talk lots about anchoring points. Your foot is your anchoring point. Your back leg, okay, that left leg is not your anchor. It's actually really light. So 95% of your body weight is in your front leg. From here, you're going to think about your tailbone, okay? So you're going to take your bum and your tailbone, and you're going to think about pushing your tailbone back behind you and hinging forward. So you're going to hinge forward and untuck the tailbone so that your bum is sticking out back behind you, and then you're just going to push down into that foot. Already, I feel hamstring. I feel outer glute. I feel my quad, but it's not on fire. I think about pulling my low belly in to protect that little curve in my low back that's going to remain there. From here, we're going to hinge down Okay, and we're gonna hinge up a little bit, but not back up to standing. You're gonna feel for, as you hinge down, tailbone stays out. As you come back up, tailbone stays out. So we don't tuck the tailbone under at any point to come back up to that standing position, right? We push into our heel and side heel, big toe really quite hard into the mat. I need to focus on the outside portion of my heel more, okay, because I'm gripping pretty hard with my toes. There we go. As soon as I go outside portion of the heel, there's more side bum action. One more time. Okay, get off that leg, a little shake, and we're going to continue on with the right leg, okay? So we're not going to stop. We're going to roll right through the next series. Right leg forward, left leg back, high up on those tippy toes. Hips and pubic bone face forward, shoulders away from the ears. Okay, we're going to tip forward, untuck the tailbone, hinge forward. We're going to do a little lunge. So back foot is super light. I'm going to lunge down and come straight back up, pushing into that front foot. Lunge down, back foot is super light. Lift back up. If I concentrate on pushing in into that front foot to come up, I feel more. I'm feeling hamstring and glute, and I'm really focused on my tailbone not tucking under to come back up, right? Low belly in, tailbone stays out back behind me. I'm going to come on down, holding that lovely lunge position. My arms are going to be from my hips to head. So hips, okay, to ears. I'm a little bit close to the door. I'm going to move over just a smidge, okay? Hips to ears for 3, for 2, for 1. Okay, pause, arms in a lovely T position. I'm going to rotate my breastbone towards the left, then back to center. Rotate my breastbone towards the right, back to center. One more time. Push into that big toe outside portion of the heel. Rotate the breastbone. Rotate the breastbone only. Good. Come back up. Oh my goodness. Shake out that right leg. It's about to cramp there. Okay. The left leg forward. Right leg takes a break. Okay. Right leg is long and strong, but it's light. Starting with hinges. Okay. Shoulders away from the ears. Shift the weight forward. Weight on the outside portion of that big heel, and then the big toe is on. When I look down, my knee is almost in line with my big toe and my second toe. I physically have to pull this thigh bone into the middle, okay? And that's fine. That actually relieves a lot of tension on my inner thigh that tends to get really tight because my thigh bone is kind of outwardly rotated. Okay, unhinge the bum, so the bum goes back up behind you. So you're thinking about tailbone back up behind you, upper body leans forward a little bit. There we go. Both waistlines are long, okay? So for me on this side, I also have to fix my hips a little bit so that they're even. I'm not hitching that left hip up and towards my waist. That helps make me feel more bum as soon as I do that. I'm going to hinge forward, and then I'm going to come back up a little. Tailbone out back behind me, hinge forward, come back up, okay? I got to lighten the load on the back leg. Most of my weight is in the front leg, and then I'm thinking that outside portion of the heel needs to really drive into the ground as I come back up. Okay, for 3, for 2, for 1, hinge, and come back up. Good, little break. Excellent. So one side might be different than the other. My left side's a little bit funny, but I'm trying its best, right, to get it to feel where I need it to feel. Hamstring, glute, little quad, okay? Here we go. Left leg forward, right leg back, nice and long. Now we go for the full thing. We're going to hinge forward, untuck the tailbone, keep a little curve in the low back. Make sure the hips are nice and square, both lines of the body are long. Okay, from here I'm going to lower down, push into the front foot to come back up. Now my back foot is super duper light, okay? I'm not worried about the back leg at all. The front leg is what I want. I'm thinking untucking the tailbone and keeping it untucked the whole time, but also keeping it square the whole time. Whoa, this side is a little bit crooked today. We're going to go for 3, 2, lower down, lift on up, keep the knee in, 1, lower down, pause, tailbone out back behind me, float the arms up towards the ears and down towards the hips. Weights, keep pushing forward with the weight, anchoring the heel for 2, for 1, good. Arms into a T. Rotate the breastbone towards the left. Back to center. Towards the right. Woo! Back to center. Towards the left. Towards the right. Oh my goodness. Stand on up. Shake it on out. Good. We're going to do a couple of squats. So bum goes back. Arms come up. Bum goes back. Arms come up. One more time. Bum goes back. Arms come up. Excellent. We're going to cross the arms across the chest, rotating just our breastbone to the left. Take a big deep breath in. Oh my. Back to center. I can't talk today. And then we'll go the opposite direction. Hips and knees don't move. Good. We're going to reach that right arm up and over, side bend. Back to center. Left arm up and over. Good. And you are done. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.